Welcome to ASEAN MedTech Insights. Today we are focusing on a critical pathway for many device manufacturers, registering a Class 3 medical device in Singapore when you already have FDA approval. Singapore is a top-tier gateway to the ASEAN market, known for its efficient and well-regarded regulatory body, the Health Sciences Authority, or HSA. Many companies believe that having FDA approval for a high-risk device is a golden ticket to fast registration. However, the reality is more nuanced. The HSA does recognize the US FDA as a reference regulatory agency, which is a significant advantage. This allows manufacturers to use an abridged evaluation route instead of a full, lengthy review. This can drastically reduce the time to market. But this abridged route is not a simple rubber stamp process. It is a streamlined assessment, not a complete waiver of scrutiny. Let's consider a real-world scenario. A US-based company, we will call them Cardio developed a novel drug-eluting stent, a Class 3 device. After a rigorous process, they secured pre-market approval, or PMA, from the FDA. With their sights set on Asia, Singapore was their first target. They initially assumed their comprehensive FDA dossier would be sufficient for a quick approval. Their first hurdle was realizing they needed a local entity, a Singapore registrant, to submit the application and hold the license. This is a mandatory requirement. Once they appointed a registrant, they prepared their submission based on the ASEAN Common Submission Dossier Template, or CSDT. While their FDA approval allowed them to use the abridged route, the HSA came back with specific questions. They requested bridging data to justify the device's efficacy and safety within the local Singaporean population, considering potential ethnic and physiological differences. They also required a detailed post-market surveillance plan tailored specifically for Singapore. Cardio had to provide additional analysis and documentation, which they hadn't anticipated. The key insight here is that while the core clinical data from the FDA submission was accepted, the HSA's focus was on ensuring the device was appropriate and safe for its own population. The process was still much faster than a full evaluation. The registration was completed in about 11 months, whereas a full review for a novel Class 3 device could have taken up to 2 years. This case highlights a critical lesson. Leveraging FDA approval in Singapore is a powerful strategy, but success depends on understanding and preparing for local requirements. You must have a local registrant, format your submission correctly, and be ready to provide country-specific data and post-market plans. Thinking of the abridged route as an acceleration, not an exemption, is the correct mindset. For help navigating these complex regulatory pathways, you can email info@pureglobal.com or visit our website at pureglobal.com.